Assalamu alaikum. Hello, dear viewers, honorable guardians, and my dearest students. A very good afternoon to you all. How do you do? Hopefully, you all are doing wonderful by the grace of Almighty. And it is the purest blessing staying home, keeping well. Alhamdulillah, we all are doing fine so far. I'm Farzana Khan Chaudhary, Assistant Teacher, Vikarnisa Noon School and College, welcoming you all to Noon Batayon, the online platform launched by Vikarnisa Noon School and College. Today, I'm going to take a class on grammar of class 8. And my topic of discussion is transformation of sentences. And before I start my class, I expect you all to join, as it is an open platform, not only for the students of our school, but students from all over the country. And please, before I start my lesson, let me know in my comment section whether my audiovisual presence is clear to you. Oh yeah, thanks for your prompt response. My class today on transformation is very commonly taken almost in all the upper class of our school, starting from class 7 up to class 10. I know it that you had already been introduced to this topic in your former class, which was class 7, but you did transformation within a limited range. Since you are in class 8 now, you have to be a little more overloaded with transformation, because there are wide varieties of sentences to be transformed. In the chapter you will find, you have already gone through the chapter, so you have seen lot of sentences, lot of rules covering the whole chapter. So it's completely impossible to finish this chapter by taking few classes. We need number of classes, good number of classes of transformation. So it's quite impossible to finish transformation in a single class of 40 minutes. Don't you think so? Yeah. So let's get into the topic, and I have selected transformation of affirmative to negative sentences. And to do this transformation, I have prepared a number of rules to follow, which provides us with the structures how to change the affirmative sentences into negative. So dear students, let's start. Here in our first number, the rule is affirmative sentence having only or alone, indicating Allah, God, or a person, is transformed into negative by none but. And for example, we have here as affirmative sentence, only God, only the pious are happy. We transform this into negative sentence by replacing only by none but. None but the pious are happy. Notice one thing, the pious are what? Persons. So when only is used before pious or any person, whatever persons, I mean, it must be replaced by none but. None but works only in the case of person. So this is how we do the rule number 1. Let's move to the second rule. The second rule, you will notice, also deals with only and alone. But this only and alone is used before a thing, object, or material, whatever, anything but person. Here we'll transform it following this structure. We'll transfer only and alone in the negative by nothing but. For example, here our affirmative example is, the miser save only money. Here only is placed before money. Money is a thing, an object, a material. So as we saw in the rule, we have to replace only by nothing but. Here in the negative sentence, we have done it like this: the miser saves nothing but money. Clear? Okay. Now we will move to rule number 3. Rule number 3 also deals with only. Here only is replaced by not more than or not less than excuse me, in the negative sentence. Look at the example. Number 1, affirmative example. The dress costs only 500 taka. Here only is used before a number, which is 500 taka. And in the negative sentence, how we did it? Just have a glance. The dress cost nothing more than 500 taka, or you can use nothing less than 500 taka instead of only. You can make several examples, as many examples as you want to. Like this, the girl is only 7. 7 is also a number, so you can replace only by not more than or not less than. The girl is not more than 7 or not less than 7. Clear? Okay. Now we'll see rule 4. Rule 4 is about affirmative sentence having must. We all know must is used before a verb. Okay? So must in affirmative sentence is replaced by cannot but, cannot help, and ing added to the base verb of the sentence in negative. Let's see the examples. The affirmative example, I must attend the class. Here must will be replaced by cannot but. The first way is, I cannot but attend the class. Here everything remains the same except must. Must will be omitted by cannot but. The second way is, I cannot help attending the class according to the rule of this transformation. Look, cannot help, after using cannot help, you have to add an ing to the main verb. Here the main verb was attend, and we are using ing to that, and the sentence is, I cannot help attending the class. Okay? These are really simple. Once you get it by your heart, you'll never forget it, I'm sure. All right, let's go to rule number 5. Rule number 5 is about, if the affirmative sentence having both ... and or only and, they are replaced by not only but also in the negative sentence. That means in the affirmative sentence, if we have sentences like this, both Shumi and Tina dance well. Notice one thing, if we don't use both, only Shumi and Tina dance well, if we use Shumi and Tina dance well, both the sentence mean the same, with both or without both. The two girls dance well. So doesn't matter if the sentence has both or not, if two subjects are connected with and, the conjunction, we have to change the sentence like this, removing or replacing both by not only Shumi, but also Tina, and is replaced by but, not only Shumi, but also Tina dance well. Clear? Okay. Now we'll go to rule number 6. Rule number 6, I would like to remind you one thing. You don't have to be specific about the rules. You can change the number of the rules randomly according to your own convenience. I have serialized the numbers according to my own convenience, so don't bother about the numbering of the rules. You just notice how the rules are applying for the transformation here. Okay. For this, in this rule, every affirmative sentence is transformed into there is no one but, there is no one who doesn't, and nobody plus opposite of the main verb plus s/es in negative sentence. It sounds clumsy. The structures sometimes sound clumsy, and we think it's pretty difficult. We get scared memorizing it, but there is nothing to be scared of if you once see the example. Just take a glance over the example. It will be clear to you and you'll feel, oh yeah, it's really easy. Number 1, affirmative sentence. Everybody loves flower. There is no one but loves flower. The second way is there is no one who doesn't love flower. And finally, the simplest way, using two opposite words of the subject and the main verb, and using a not before the opposite of the verbs. Like this, nobody hates flower. Nobody is the opposite of everybody. Hates is the opposite of loves. So it's simple as that. Nobody hates flower. Okay, now we'll move on to rule number 7. Rule number 7 deals with sentences having as soon as. How we transform this? As soon as in affirmative sentence is replaced by no sooner had plus subject plus past participle of the main verb plus rest of the sentence plus then plus second sentence. Again, these are sounding really clumsy, but please look at the sentences, the examples. They will be clear to you. Affirmative sentence, as soon as I got the money, I spent it right away. Look, here are two clauses here. I got the money, I spent it right away. How we change it? Look at this. As soon as is replaced by no sooner had I got. No sooner had instead of as soon as. And the first sentence stays the same. I got the money. And between two sentences, we have used then. Before the second sentence, we have used then, T-H-A-N, the comparative sign. Then I spent it. No sooner had I got the money than I spent it. This is how we follow rule number 7, dealing with as soon as. Then we'll do rule number 8. Rule number 8, Zema. Rule number 8 is affirmative sentence having superlative degree is transformed into a negative sentence by following the structure. The structure, notice the structure. No other plus subject plus so slash as plus positive form of adjective plus as plus subject. Look at the example. Affirmative sentence. She is the best student. The superlative form best. How do we do it? Look at the negative form. The negative sentence is, no other student in the class is so good as she or her, or as good as she. So, for omitting the best, we have used no other plus so or as plus adjective plus as and then the subject. Okay, now we will move to rule number 9. Rule number 9 is affirmative sentence. Which is to be transformed by using opposite of the affirmative word. It's a very simple form of sentence, you will see, and not is used before the affirmative word. Example, affirmative sentence, they are active. You can easily remember what is the opposite of active. Active, the opposite of active is inactive or lazy, isn't it? Yes, then use it. They are not inactive or lazy, as the rule asked us to do, that we have to use the opposite of the affirmative word and then use are not. Now we'll move to rule number 10. Rule number 10 is affirmative sentence having always plus affirmative words, which is to be transformed into negative, replacing always by never, and opposite of the affirmative word is used. Look at the examples to make it easier. Affirmative sentence, the martyrs will always be remembered. Here in the negative, what we do? Look, in the negative, always is transformed into never, and be remembered is transformed in be forgotten. The martyrs will never be forgotten. Match it with the structure, you will find it very easy. And likewise, you can have other examples like that. I always respect my elders. I never disrespect my elders. This is the way it works. Okay, now we'll move to rule number 11. Rule number 11, excuse me, it's just look at the structure, transforming TOO2 ... of affirmative sentence by using so ... that in the negative sentence. Okay, example, affirmative sentence, she is too busy to talk to me. Negative sentence, how we do it? She is so busy that she cannot talk to me. Here, TOO is replaced by so, the adjectives remains the same, and this too is replaced by that, and the rest of the sentence is in negative form, she cannot talk to me. That's the way we should do it. Now we'll move to rule number 12. Rule number 12 is about sentences having many. So, I'm sorry, having as ... as, then we replace this kind of words into not less than or not more than in the negative sentence. Look at the example, affirmative sentence. He is as intelligent as you. He is not less intelligent than you, or he is not more intelligent than you. You can use either way. Okay, now we'll move to rule number 13. Rule number 13 is transforming sentences having universal truth. There are some sentences which express universal truth. You know what universal truth is. It stays always the same in all ages. These are called universal truth. Here is an example in affirmative sentence. Animals live on food. And we'll transform it in the negative like this. The process of transforming this is the simple type of universal truth is transformed by transform into negative interrogative sentence. Look at this. Don't animals live on food? Look at this negative form. Don't animals live on food? It looks like a question, an interrogative sentence, but actually it has the answer in itself. The answer is animals live on food, and it carries the same meaning, the negative formation of the sentence. Likewise, man is mortal. Isn't man mortal? Does it make sense to you? This is the way we should change the universal truth. And universal truth, the sentence having universal truth is always in simple present form. Now we'll move to rule number 14. Transforming many by not a few. That means if the sentence has many, how do we transform them into negative? We'll see it. Look at the example. The affirmative form is, there are many books in the shelf. There are many books in the shelf. In the negative form, what we do? There are not a few books in the shelf. Many is replaced by not a few. Now we'll move to rule number 15. Rule number 15 also deals with deals with quantity. So before a quantity, if there is a little, it will be transformed into not much. Look at the examples. Affirmative sentence. Coffee has a little sugar. The coffee has a little sugar. In the negative form, the coffee has not much sugar. This little is transformed into not much. Isn't it simple? It's very simple. For doing this kind of sentences, you don't need to memorize all the structures. You just have to practice some sentences following the rules and structure. Then these are going to be really easy for you. Okay. Now, transformation is something, you know, that's these are the rules I have today for you. For practice, we'll give you some work. And one thing you have to always remember, that transformation doesn't mean change the meaning. You know it by this time. Transformation means changing the structure of a sentence, but maintaining the meaning the same way. You cannot change the meaning. You have to transform some words by the opposite. You have to use the opposites of the verb, opposites of the noun, opposites of the adjective by transforming affirmative sentences into negative. And at the same way, you have to keep it in mind that you cannot change the meaning. There are other ways of changing sentences where we have to change the meaning too, but not in the case of transformation like this. So dear students, these were all the rules so far for today, and I think this is time for practice. I'm going to give you some practice. Here I have set some sentences. You can go on doing the sentences one by one, and please let me know in my comment section what you were answering. Screen blur. Yes? Please, you have to be a little prompt because you have to be cautious about our time limit. We are working in a framed time, 40 minutes, so you cannot, don't take that long. Yes, and if you find it difficult seeing in the screen, why don't you take a screenshot and do it yourself and send it in my comment option, please. Yes, Gopakundu Nanbate pilot can fly plane. And please mention, as we always ask you to do, please mention your, if you are in VNSC, please mention your shift, roll number, section. And students from other schools, other institutions, please mention your, mention the name of your institutions so that we can understand how many students are participating from outside our school. Okay. We cannot but study, do good in to good, do good in good result. Nabonita Rai, yes. Please mention your mention the name of your institutions. Yes. I like not only science but also literature. Right you are. None but a pilot can fly a plane. Yes, we are getting the answer. Some of you are writing a little slowly. Okay, no problem. You go on practicing. I am checking all the answers right away. I'm really impressed for your being so promptly responsive. Thank you. Yes. Doesn't every child need a mother? Is right you are. Doesn't every child need a mother? Yes, it is true. It's right, you are. As soon as I saw him, I called him. You have to do it, you know. Just follow the rules. Every child needs a mother. There is no child but needs a mother. You can do it in either way. In 3 ways I have shown you in the rules. Either way you can follow. Or you can do it as, if you consider it as a universal truth, you can do it just the way you should do for transforming universal truth. Yes, you can do in all these ways. There is no child but needs a mother. Yes, you are right. Ipshita Bonik Piu, VNSC. Thank you very much. I like not only I like not only science but also literature. You are right. Nazbun Nahar Arzu. Thank you. Rashid Abrar. No sooner had I seen him than I called him. Good. You are being really attentive in the class. Most of you are giving answers, though slowly but correctly. This is a very positive thing. The man is so old that he cannot work. Some of you couldn't write it correctly. I don't understand why. This was really simple. or it was a silly mistake? Most of you have written the correct answer. Yes, go on doing. And what about number 6? Number 6, Sidr was the worst cyclone in Bangladesh. You know how to transform a superlative sentence. Sentences having superlative degree of adjective, you know how to transform it into negative. No other cyclone in Bangladesh was as bad as Sidr. You cannot change the tense. You cannot use is. The tense must stay the same. You cannot change the tense of the sentence, okay? So, no other cyclone was as bad as Sidr. Somebody has written as worst as Sidr. No, you cannot write worst. You have to write no other cyclone in Bangladesh was as bad as Sidr. All right, let's move to number 7. Number 7, he always agrees with his parents. You know how to do it. Yes, you have started giving the right answers. He never disagrees with his parents. Ipshita Bonik, PUVNSC. Thank you. Now come to number 7, come to number 8. The man is too old to work. The man is too old to work. Yes, you have given the right answer. The man is so weak that he cannot walk. Yes, we are getting the correct answers. Now, question number 9. Honesty is the best policy. We know it. In our childhood, we did passages, paragraphs on this topic. Honesty is the best policy. Yes, it's very easy. No other policy is as good as honesty. No other policy is as good as honesty. This is the correct answer, and you have given the correct answer here. Tasnia Fariha. But this is okay. The only way of doing this kind of transformation into negative, as we did in the rule, you have to go by the rule. No other policy is as good as honesty. You have to abide by the rules. You cannot go beyond the rules. Maybe you can do in other ways too, that makes sense. But when you are following some structures, you cannot go beyond that. Okay? All right. Now, come to rule, question number 10. There were many guests at the party. It's very simple. You should do it. You should give the correct answer. Yes, we are getting some correct answers. Many is replaced by what? In case of countable numbers, we use many. Countable noun, we use many before countable noun. Don't you think guests are countable nouns? Yes, that's why we have used many. And many should be replaced or transformed into what? Yes, we are getting right answers. There were not a few guests at the party. There were not a few guests at the party. Yes, so far almost all of you have given the correct answers. Here lies the success of a class. When you do the classwork attentively, you can be able to give correct answers of all the questions. This is the way students should be attentive. And if you are attentive, you are the one who is benefited, not me. But I'm benefited in other way around. I'm the happiest person as a teacher when my students are responsive and as prompt as this. Within few seconds, you have given almost all the correct answers. Isn't it something? I'm so happy, I feel so proud and honored. And thank you again for being with me in the class. And as I told you at the beginning of the class, transformation is a very wide-ranging chapter to finish within few classes. So we have to take a lot of classes on transformation in days to come in the future. We'll see you there. We'll see you there with some more some more kinds of words, sentences, as we have in our class 8 syllabus. We have lot of sentences, and transformation, transforming all these sentences in each of the kinds. It's pretty lengthy. It's pretty lengthy, sometimes complicated, but you know, if you have practice, what does practice do? Practice makes you perfect. So keep on practicing, and you have ample time at hand. Don't you have? You have ample time in hand. You can do lot of practice, more practice than you were in school, that you can do in school. In school, sometimes school time is very tiring and very tedious. You don't feel like practicing that much in school. So when you have ample time in hand, spending time at home with parents and family, you're feeling relaxed relaxed inside. So relaxation gives you what? Freshness of brain. So try to activate your brain by doing all the topics, if not possible all the topics, at least some of the topics which are really important, and some of the topics are newly introduced in class 8. You can do those as well. And in case of transformation, I told you this is just the lesson I did, just a fraction of the chapter transformation, or you can say it's only the heading. We'll go into more details of transformation in the classes of future, and we are waiting for that. Hopefully you'll stay good, and we'll be together again in the days to come. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.